Hello and welcome to Calabasas Teen Forum. I'm your host, Max Goldwasser. Calabasas Teen Forum is a chance for local teens to voice their opinions about topics of the day. Today's topic is social media. And our panelists are, this is John Gans. He is a senior at Calabasas High School and plays on the varsity baseball team. He uses Facebook and Twitter. This is Brandon Kajulis. He is a senior at Calabasas High School and plays on the varsity football and baseball team. He uses Facebook and Instagram. This is Tim Hillman. He is a senior at Calabasas High School and plays on the varsity football and baseball teams. He uses Facebook and Instagram. This is Zach Kumar. He is a senior at Calabasas High School. He's on the varsity water polo team and is a Tim Duncan connoisseur. He uses Facebook. This is CAIRA Rowe. She is a senior at Calabasas High School. She's on the varsity tennis team and has a black belt in karate. She uses Facebook and Instagram. This is Spencer BARTOK. He is a senior at Calabasas High School. He's on the varsity lacrosse team and he uses Facebook and Instagram. Once again, our topic is social media. John, social media has become a huge part of our society. Do you even remember life without Facebook?
Yes, I remember a life where I'd actually do my homework on time and get normal sleep. I used to be able to come home and just do my homework, then watch TV, go to bed, normal time. Now I come home and just check Facebook and waste literally 2-3 hours a day doing that, and then I realized, oh, I have to do my homework, and then I go do it and sleep a lot later.
I can definitely relate to that. Brandon, what are some ways in which you use social media?
Well, there's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and it's just a great way for all your friends to connect with you.
Now, I sometimes use social media to communicate with my classmates and see, if I need help on some homework. Zach, do you use this in the same way?
Sometimes.
Do you find it beneficial?
Yeah, I do. We had the AP Chem page. John was on that. It was really beneficial just to know if we had homework and what the homework was.
And also now teachers are trying to take advantage of social media to use it in the class. Spencer, in what way do you see this happening?
Social media, they use their websites primarily on the school page, and they put up their homework, and they also try and do these blogs, but personally they don't really work. And I kind of think it's stupid.
So you don't think it's very helpful?
I do not think it's helpful. They should just tell you in class what to do.
Okay. CAIRA, do you think social media makes your life any easier?
In certain ways, yeah. If I don't know what to do for a homework assignment and I go on my Facebook page and see what's there, that helps. But then again, it's really it's what I spend my time doing, procrastinating with social media, and it's really hard sometimes on my GPA with school.
Yeah. Tim, do you agree with her on that, or do you also find social media make your life easier, or?
Oh, it makes my life way easier. I mean, it's way easier to communicate with people, and but yeah, you procrastinate a lot with school, and I don't get my work done in time.
Now there can be some positive effects and negative effects, like we already went over procrastination or communicating with classmates. What are some other, Brandon, positive or negative effects that you see with social media?
In the classroom?
Just in general.
Well, I know in my English class, she set up this website where all the students signed up, and you could go online and look at what she gave you, and also when she posted something, it would send you a text message saying what she said on the website. So I found that really helped.
Okay, and John, there's been some problems with social media and privacy. How do you feel social media affects your privacy?
Well, I feel that you have to be much more careful with what you post, because when you talk to people, it's not in print. It can be forgotten, but once you put something on social media, it's there forever and anyone can see it, and so you really have to be much more careful with what you say, and you have to be more careful with the word choice you use.
And also with privacy, colleges are starting to view some of their applicants' Facebook pages to see if they're really someone they want at their school. Do you think colleges should be able to view your Facebook profile?
Well, I feel like it's if you are careful and say what you really mean and don't just say anything nasty or be rude to other people, then it's okay, and you should be comfortable with anyone looking at your Facebook because there's nothing wrong with it or nothing that can be used against you.
Zach, do you think colleges should view your Facebook profile?
I personally think it's a little bit invasive, where like, you know, they can see everything I've done since like I signed up for Facebook last February, and they can see like, because it keeps track of all the events you go to, all the stuff you look at, and I feel like it's a little bit invasive to know that just some guy at a desk can see all that.
How about you, Spencer?
I think your profile is like it should be an accurate representation of what you will be like and what you are. So colleges deserve, or not, maybe not deserve, but I think they retain the right that they should be able to at least glance at your profile and see what you're like, to see if you will fit in with what they are, that college is.
How do you feel about this, Tim?
I don't know. I feel like Facebook's kind of like your own personal thing. It's like, I mean, I use it more like for my friends and stuff and everything else. I mean, yeah, I use it for school, but for colleges, I don't know. It's kind of going. That's a little too far into your life. Just have them see what you do every day and who you hang out with and all that.
Now, other people can view your profile, like your parents. Do you guys feel weird if your parents are kind of looking at your profile, Kyra?
I feel like my mom constantly, like every day, there's a new picture of me that she just like needs to be taken off because I'm making a face or something, or I'm like, it's just like it's so invasive. Like they're totally judging me based on the pictures or whatever I post on Facebook, when like it could be a totally different thing. Like I could be like making a really funny face and looking like I used illegal substances, but I didn't. But I didn't, and it's just like, my mom's like, you need to take that down because colleges will think this. They can colleges can assume so much from your Facebook, but it might not even be the case. Like,
Yeah, like if we're at a party and we have cups and they're red plastic cups, it's just like assumed that, oh, well, these kids have been drinking, and like, I don't think that's always true. I feel like a lot of times I fill up red plastic cups with just like soda or water, and I feel like if there's a picture of me on Facebook with a red plastic cup filled with water, then colleges automatically jump to the conclusion that, oh, like this kid must go out and party a lot, and therefore he's not a good fit for our school.
Like they're just going to assume from seeing one picture that you're this
Yes.
person that you're not.
Yes.
Brandon, how do you feel about your parents being on Facebook?
Well, my dad is very socially active on Facebook. He has added quite a few of my friends, and it's kind of annoying to see him commenting on all of my friends' posts.
Yeah, John, do you see this happening too?
Well, I feel like you have a choice whether to add them as your friend or not. If they send you a request, you can accept, and then you have the knowledge that they're going to be looking at all the stuff you do and kind of looking over your shoulder to make sure you're not doing anything wrong. And if not, if you don't choose to accept them, then you can also suffer the consequence of them making you take your Facebook down.
yeah, like my mom forced me to accept them before. Like I got my Facebook and she's like, okay, we need to be friends with you or else you can't have it. So it's like you can't really get away from that.
That was kind of the same at my house too. I had to accept my dad's and my mom's friend requests. Spencer, do you find your parents annoying on Facebook at all?
My parents don't really use Facebook,
Okay.
luckily. And my mom does have Facebook, but she has like 50 friends. So, and she doesn't even have a profile picture up. She never uses it. And my dad doesn't really use it either. So I don't have a problem, but I can definitely see why, people here would have a problem with their parents invading their private sphere.
Do you like it more that they're kind of quiet on Facebook?
Definitely.
Definitely. So what are some things you like about Facebook and also things you don't like about Facebook?
Well, things I like about it, you can basically show everyone what you do on a daily basis and how you live your life and how you show them just what you and your friends do every day. I mean, but that can also be bad because some people you don't want them to see everything. So,
John?
I think it's very beneficial, especially when you just want to have a quick talk with someone. Sometimes there's like no reception, so you can't call or text them, and it's a lot easier than just when you just need to say, hey, what's up, or ask them a quick question. It's a lot easier to just type it in on the computer as opposed to having to meet with them and taking a lot more time out of your day.
So it's another easy way to communicate
Right,
to
exactly.
people. Zach?
Yeah, I feel like it makes it a lot easier for you to communicate with friends and set up events and stuff. So I feel like that's a good thing, and it helps schoolwork-wise, homework and class discussions and notes and stuff. But at the same time, like, there are some negatives where we've already talked about procrastination and how it can sort of suck away your time.
I think my favorite part about Facebook especially is because I have a significant amount of friends that do not live in Calabasas or in this area, and so I'm still able to see what they're doing and, you know, talk to them and catch up, even though they live, you know, hundreds of miles away.
And I've definitely experienced that myself, talking to friends in like Minnesota and Florida and stuff like that. I enjoy that part about Facebook. There's something bad on Facebook and social media sites in general where cyberbullying can become a big problem. John, what kind of cyberbullying things have you noticed on those sites?
Well, I've often seen people use profanity or call other people really mean and sometimes disgusting names, or just have these huge fights that never end. And someone posts a status and then people just keep commenting and fighting and arguing. I mean, that's not something that should be for the whole world to see. That's a private issue, and I feel like if you call someone a really mean name or really offensive name or insult someone, then it can really hurt their reputation, because it's once you post it in 3 seconds, everyone can see it. And then their friends can see it on Facebook, and soon enough it can spread to a whole city, whole even state. It's insane how rapid it is.
So again, once it's out there, you know, it is out there
right.
for permanently.
You can't really take it back.
Tim, what have you noticed about cyberbullying?
I mean, like you said, yeah, I mean, on statuses and on their walls, you can post a bunch of stuff, but they also have, like, you can privately message people, so I mean, that could also be a problem. Like, a lot of people won't know about it because they're just saying it directly to the person through, like, a chat or something.
Have you seen any cyberbullying, Zach?
I haven't seen a lot, but it does happen on occasion. And I feel like, though, at the same time, Facebook does give you some power to control what other people see. Like, if you post a status and then a bunch of people are commenting underneath it and you don't like what they're saying about each other or about you, you have the option to delete their comments so that other people can't see what they've said. So it's not like it's completely out of your control.
Okay. CAIRA, we've already talked about, you know, how Facebook and other social media sites can make you become a procrastinator. How else has like social media sites impacted your life?
I mean, it's a lot easier to share things. Like my family, all of them except for one uncle lives in Texas. So when I go on Instagram or Facebook, I post like a lot of things so that I can connect with them again, and like so they could see like all the stuff that's going on in my life. And then
so it's again just to connect from people outside of
that's all
where you
Facebook
are.
really is. A lot also to my parents, and they only use it to connect with like their high school friends and like college friends and stuff. They don't really use it for anything else. Like other than that, Facebook's just like nothing. I mean, it's kind of like a page where you just connect with people, and that's what it is.
Brandon, how has social media impacted your life?
It actually really has like impacted my life, because you literally can know like everything that's going on in your friend circle with just the click of one button. Like, oh, there's a party tonight, you want to go? Yeah, let's go, I'll meet you at 7 or whatever. It's just easy for everyone.
Tim, do you have any way social media's impacted your life?
It just makes everything easier. Like, I don't have to always call someone or text someone, like each person. Individually, I can just like all put it onto one group thing and just ask them what are people doing or what's going on.
Now, John already mentioned he uses Facebook like 2 to 3 hours a day during the school year. Do you find yourself in the same problem? Like, how many hours a day do you think you use Facebook?
It's my homepage for my web browser, but what I usually do is like open up my web browser, I see Facebook. If I don't have any notifications, I don't really scroll through the news feed, so the world kind of revolves around me, and so if I don't see any notifications, I kind of just go off to YouTube or something, and I maybe check it like 2 or 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm. Do you think
for 5 minutes or so?
Do you think using Facebook, a lot of your day, it affects, obviously we talked about school, but maybe sports or other aspects like that?
I mean, if you're going to be using that time somewhere else, like if you finish your homework and then you could either watch TV or Facebook, it doesn't really matter what you do as long as you're doing one or the other. Mm-hmm. I can't really see people abusing Facebook and getting in the way of their sports unless they purposely miss a game to look at their news feed or something weird like that. But I don't really think it's a problem.
Brandon, do you feel you use Facebook a lot or not that much?
I really only use Facebook when I have nothing else to do. So like I'll get home from practice, finish all my homework, and it'll be like 9 o'clock, and that's Facebook time, Instagram time.
Facebook's kind of like dead also. Like it's a lot more about Instagram and Twitter more than it is Facebook. Like Facebook's plummeting right now. But I mean, I only got my Facebook like last year, and I used to go on it like all the time, but it's not big anymore. Like people only use it really to post pictures and get invites to parties. Like Facebook made going to parties a lot easier because now you don't have to do like the invite, RSVP to the parents, like now it's just like be here at 7, like click attending, you're on the gate list. Like
Why do you
it's just a lot
think
easier.
Facebook's plummeting and Instagram and Twitter and like Vine are, getting more popular?
I just feel like Facebook's kind of like it's boring now. Like there's not really much to do. You can like Instagram kind of has like a cool way to just share pictures really quick, and Facebook like there's like a whole album and you get to like stalk that and stuff. But like a lot more people use Instagram and there's like filters, and Twitter's easier because it's like a status update, but no one really posts statuses on Facebook anymore.
It's just quicker.
It's quicker.
Like Facebook, you have to, scroll through and individually try and look through people's photos, because it's not only photos sometimes. If you like a fan page, you see that on your news feed. And on Instagram, you could just, while you're sitting on the toilet, just, scrolling through, looking at pictures.
Yeah, it's like
just real quick.
It's all new too. So I mean, like when Facebook was new, everyone thought, oh, this is really cool. And then like, Instagram and all that, oh, this is cool. It's something new and different.
Do you think the same thing?
Facebook's kind of become stale, where it's like, it's reliable, but there's nothing really exciting or new about it. It's like Tim Duncan or Harrison Ford or something, where it's reliably bankable, but there's not anything interesting about it. And after a while, you stop paying attention to it, and you start paying attention to newer things like Instagram or Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And with Facebook, there's kind of a mix of a lack of innovation, sort of, and sort of the fact that your parents are all kind of on it and seeing what you're doing. And I don't know. I know everybody's parents here, for the most part, I believe, have Facebooks and are friends with them. But I don't know how many parents have Instagram or how many parents use Vine. So it's sort of a thing where it used to be all kids communicating with kids, and now it's kids communicating with parents communicating with kids. And I think it becomes sort of oppressive after a while.
Mm-hmm. John, do you have a Twitter also?
Yes, I do.
What do you like? What are some differences between Facebook and Twitter, and what do you like about it?
Well, Twitter is just all statuses and just going back and forth talking, as opposed to Facebook, which is a bunch of, like, people can post a picture of them brushing their teeth, and I'm not that interested in exactly every little bit of what they're doing, but, well, Twitter is just talking, going back and forth, making posts and statuses, and I like that a lot more. And it's also, again, what everyone was saying about how it's newer and more innovative, and it just keeps, it's like any other form of technology. Once something new comes out, the other one becomes old, and less people want to use it, and more people want to use the newer version or form.
And Twitter is also, it's kind of like Facebook, but for like a more ADD, I guess, generation, for lack of a better term, where like we kind of want instant gratification. And with Twitter, you only have 140 characters to use, so it's not like with a Facebook status that can go on for paragraphs. It's not like that. With Twitter, it's like, you're done.
We're definitely an instant gratification generation, like where I don't want to read anything, like that's more than 5 sentences. If it's more than 5 sentences, I'll be like, oh, too long, I don't want to read that. And so you just want instant information as quick as possible, as fast as possible, and as efficient as possible.
I don't have a Twitter, but I can tell, like, whenever I see, statuses on Facebook that are like crazy long, I just hate seeing those, and I don't want to read those at all.
Yeah, like if a hashtag can like define my emotion, then like it's just so much easier. You'll be like hashtag like I'm bored, or like hashtag like I'm doing a talk show. Hashtag.
That's more
like,
efficient.
That's
Twitter.
whatever. Some people like post like these big long things about like their whole life and how they feel and whatnot. It's like, great, I don't really care. So.
It's just not as interesting. Can you imagine life without social media?
Yeah, because we used to have it, but I don't know, I was younger. I don't think I cared, but I wasn't like as worried about as many things as I am now, probably I should say. So I mean, life for everyone else would be different, and well, me too, but I don't know, I could still imagine it. It wouldn't be that much harder, I don't think.
How do you think your life would be different without it?
Well, like I want to get the instant gratification, like Spencer said, but I don't know, people would have to you have to kind of go back to older things, like, oh, I'd call someone up or just text them and stuff.
It'd be a lot more personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it would always there would always be some sort of innovation to sort of replace it, where it would just, instead of having a Facebook page where you create a party, some phone would create an app where you can create parties and everybody would use that. I feel like social media is always going to find a way to be in our lives.
Mm-hmm. What if there was zero social media? How, no internet or anything?
I feel like it'd be a lot more awkward, standing place, because sometimes when you're in an awkward position, you look down at your phone, check Facebook, check Instagram.
Yeah.
I do that all the time, and it gets me out of awkward situations. So I feel like you'd have to interact more with people face to face than on a computer or on a phone. It'd be a lot harder. You'd learn how to communicate with people way more, face to face.
That's the problem also with social media, that it takes away face-to-face just human interaction in general, because when you're looking at a computer screen, it's not tangible, it's not real. So it makes communication with other human beings in person much harder. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a problem that our generation and future generations, especially in the workplace, are gonna have to face and overcome.
John, would you rather have life with social media or without social media?
Well, I feel like now that we have social media, it's very difficult to imagine life without it, just because we've had it and it's now become embedded into our lives. But I feel like Spencer was saying, the whole face-to-face interaction thing is a very big problem with social media. And as you said, it's much easier to type something or to type to someone because they're not really in front of your face, as opposed to telling someone something. It's just much easier to type as opposed to looking into someone's eyes and dealing with their emotions. And I feel like that's a skill that a lot of people in today's generation have lost because of social media.
Yeah, it make people shy away from confrontation with others.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can also video chat, which is actual video of you face to face with someone, but they could be halfway across the world.
Yeah. So it's still beneficial to connect with,
Yeah.
again, people that you can't really see every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really quickly, there was status updates first, then pictures, then videos. What do you guys maybe think is going to be the next thing to be on social media sites? Zach?
I honestly have no idea,
No
because
idea.
I wouldn't have really predicted 7-second videos as being the next thing, so it's out of my realm. We're not really innovators so much in this
I
group.
can't really think right now.
We're
I'm on somewhere.
followers.
Maybe holograms. I don't know, where they just you
You're
can
actually
see.
there,
Yeah.
or I don't know.
It would be sick.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just everything. If you go back 10, 15 years ago, people would not have imagined anything remotely close to what's going on today. So 10, 15 years from now, it's so difficult to see how much technology is going to change and how much our lives are going to be different from new social media.
I remember my mom didn't let me get a Facebook till I turned 10 years old. John, do you think young kids should be allowed to use Facebook, and why?
Well, I definitely think that you have to be at least in middle school, 6th, 7th grade, because when you have 3rd graders on Facebook, I mean, what are they going to post? I just don't see, and it can only hurt them if they're in 3rd grade. They don't need to connect to old high school friends or things like that. They can just talk to people, call. It's very dangerous, because sometimes elementary school kids can't tell the difference between someone who's real or something. A lot of times someone can make a fake account and cause a lot of issues and lead to potential problems. And so I don't think elementary school kids are mature enough to see through that and to be able to be responsible for their actions on Facebook.
I don't think it's so much as a certain age as to what he was saying, the maturity level. If they're mature enough to know what's real and what's not and be responsible enough to act appropriately online, then why not?
Tim?
I think you have to be at least a teenager, because I mean, like you said, 3rd graders. There's gonna be some weird people out there trying to lurk on other people. So, yeah, maturity definitely plays a factor into it, because you have to know your limits and other people's limits, and just being an overall good person.
I'd say probably like 13 or 14 because I feel like we were talking about how face-to-face interaction is kind of a skill that's being lost in the Facebook generation. And I feel like if you give kids like that 3-year span between 10 to 13 where they're changing so much and they're kind of learning new things that they'll keep with them for the rest of their lives, I would prefer the kids learn face-to-face interaction as opposed to Facebook interaction. And I feel like there was a lot of talk about maturity, and I feel like it's kind of arbitrary because everybody thinks that their 12-year-old is mature, or their 11-year-old is mature, or their 9-year-old is mature for his age. And it's kind of difficult to ask parents to be accountable for that, in my opinion.
CAIRA?
I think 10 is really young. Like my sister right now is 10, she's 5th grade. Like, no way, I cannot, like, no. She's not allowed to have a Facebook. Like, that's my time. Like, you can get a Facebook when I'm older, but not right now. Like, I think that you should be like, yeah, 13 or freshman in high school. Like, honestly, I don't want these little like 6th, 7th, 8th graders on Facebook with me. They're really annoying. If you want to be my friend, I'm going to say no. Like, I don't want to be friends with you because even on Instagram, like my little brother's friends follow me, or like I stalk my little brother and his friends, and it's like, you're 12, like, please stop. Like, you're embarrassing yourself. You're going to look back and be like, oh my God, what was I doing? Like, I'm happy that I got my Facebook only 2 years ago, because if I was looking back, like now, when I was 10 years old posting, I'd be really embarrassed, and I wouldn't want any of that to be up there.
Yeah, I think you should be also like 13 or 14. I know a lot of kids are getting Instagrams. Like, I know younger kids actually were the first to get Instagrams, mostly because they didn't have a Facebook. So I know that, you know, my brother, who was in 5th grade at the time, got one, and my brother was in 6th grade at the time, and, you know, all their friends were using Instagram because, you know, they were told they weren't allowed to have a Facebook, or they're too young to have one.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you guys, and thank you viewers for watching. If any of you have other questions or want to see past episodes in the archives, visit cityofcalabasas.com. Once again, I'm your host, Max Goldwasser, and thanks for watching.